going, and here I am fucking eating Popeyes.
Do you want me to give you a minute?
I cannot believe what I see with my 4 eyes. Grandma's going think that first line like 1,000 times. How the fuck you get up on the beat and it gonna rhymes? How the fuck you make it
Oh, god damn, that shit really just blessed my whole life right now. Okay, my fault.
There's a lot of artists that go for kind of different creative approaches when it comes to style. Like you're a rock star or you're punk or you're this, you're that. Why knights? Why a medieval tinge?
Um, the whole medieval thing just comes from really my surroundings, the environment I grew up around. You know, my family used to take me to medieval festivals as a kid, and I was just so inspired by it, and it was something I wanted to learn more about and be invested in. And the more I learned about different unique medieval art periods, and specifically like European medieval art periods, the involvement of knights in medieval society within Britain, I was just like interested in its values. And yeah, I sought out to kind of spread a message of you know serving something greater than yourself.
You mentioned serving something greater than yourself. Can you elaborate on that a little?
Yeah, serving something greater than yourself really just means to, you know, serve yourself, serve your friends, your family, your community, the earth, the universe, to kind of put all of that energy that we have on an everyday basis as human beings back into the environment from which we've been produced, essentially.
Do you think that's a perspective that's lacking from modern music, or are you just aiming to fill a void that you see?
Um, yeah, I definitely think it's lacking from modern day music. I don't think it's something that a lot of people try to touch upon or talk about in their music. We're kind of so oversaturated by this era in which we, as the audience, focus on music that's rather shallow, but artists are kind of more now than ever forced to create this kind of illusion around their music, with these TikTok songs. Um, but on the other hand, I really just think it's really a message to the world, outside of music, outside of art, as far as politics go. There's, a lot of things that I think we need to reconsider our moral approach to and question how we see what it is to mean to be alive.
Yeah, agreed. Um, you mentioned, going back to some of your influences. Do you think in your music you're playing more of a character, Alexander Knight as the artist, as the character, or do you think this is more a distillation of your person, you in the more pure sense?
I mean, I never really thought of myself as Alexander the Knight. I kind of always thought as Alexander Knight as a form of me. So on an everyday basis, I'm really just Lee. But Alexander Knight is kind of the fantastical manifestation of these thoughts and the conceptual idealization of what we could be. Yeah.
Mm. So you've talked a little bit about caricature and about influence, about inspiration. How's this all manifesting in music towards the end of this year, going into 2025?
Well, right now I'm finishing up my EP, Nightfall, which is the conclusion of the trilogy of The Lost Night, essentially, starting with Forsaken. And the album I'm working on for 2025, The Last Night, is really touching upon these topics as a whole, kind of the unwavering distance from the world as it stands and its psychological attempts in understanding it, and what we really do this all for. So, the last night is about feeling like I'm one of the last and only people to, search in this servitude, but also as a means to inspire more people to, want to become knights in their own moral values and seek to search for servitude and, their own personal lives, the things that they experience and the people around them and the community and this planet, you know. So
I've had the luck to play a number of shows with you and also watch a number of your performances. Uh, Besides them being extraordinarily energetic, you very much do channel the character behind your music. Do you plan with future live performances to lean more into that, lean more into the character and imagery and fantastical world of Alexander the Knight, or are you aiming for a more stripped backed approach to performances in the future?
I think it's a mix of both. It's hard to say what I'll feel most relates to my music and my approach to presenting it as such. But I'm definitely very focused on, trying to figure out how to elevate my performance and elevate my aesthetic while on stage, you know, trying to provide stages of growth within my appearance as time goes on, whether that be in a stripped down version of the music or uh, a fulgent overproduction, you know.
Do you have any plans to shoot any music videos in the upcoming time?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm working on the trap music video right now, trying to get that out. Definitely want to shoot some videos for Nightfall. And yeah, as far as videos go, right now it's in a state of kind of just presenting a story or an idea or a concept. But I'm really focused on these next couple of videos and, just videos on into the future, continuing to truly elaborate and getting on specific scenes and details of the story of the night. I kind of want all of my projects and my music and my videos and aesthetic to be synchronized, telling one story.
You mentioned the world of the night, I think was what you said before. Can you elaborate on that more? And do you have a big picture plan for what happens in the next year and beyond the next year for the night?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the world of the night is really just about spreading this idea of servitude to something greater than yourself. Um, right now, the night is a character who's kind of experiencing these earthly and humanly struggles, dealing with issues of love and lust and drug abuse and alcoholism, kind of giving into a whole bunch of these vices, humanly vices, essentially, and trying to find his own way and his path, feeling lost. But in the end, you know, the knight aims to find his own servitude within himself. And from there, he grows and experiences true turmoil of life changing experiences which inhabit his being. And he becomes a man, a person who seeks to inspire others, you know, through their own struggles and their own issues, to want to be more, to search to be more, but not just for themselves, but for everything by which they were produced.
You mentioned wanting to inspire others. Um, Beyond your own personal inspirations, do you have anyone that you would say has really inspired you to take the more grandiose artistic approach that you're going for? Any contemporary or past artists that you'd want to reference?
Mm. I mean, artists' inspirations are so unique, because I feel like all artists draw inspiration from so many different places.
Hmm.
You know, you walk outside, and you see people walking down the street, you listen to their conversations, and you may hear something you've never heard before, something you never even thought about, or you may notice a specific poster or image on a sign, on a tree, especially in New York, that strikes, inspiration. I feel like for me, I gain inspiration from so many places. Of course, artists I've seen from the Baroque period, um, you know, African artists that I've seen and cultures that I've experienced, through my time in Senegal and learning about the history of Rwandan culture and its gifts and such, and even drawing from, ancient Asian culture and some of the art of the Ottoman period, or even Islamic culture and stories of Nizami. Um,
Right.
it really draws from so many different places. I mean, as far as music goes, I could definitely say that you know Stevie Wonder, Kendrick Lamar, um, Tyler, Steve Lacy. I mean
Mm,
Chuck Berry.
mm.
Um, there's there's so many unique Big Mama Thornton. Like there's so many unique artists that play a huge role, and even Nina Simone, like play a huge role in the way in which we profess our ideas, but also the instrumentation of such. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
And
I'd say.
bringing a little bit towards the close here, you got any artists? We spoke a little bit about the broad influences. You talked about Senegal. You talked about um, ancient Asian cultures. Do you bringing it back to New York? You got any upcoming artists in the city that you want to give a platform to?
Oh yeah, nah, for sure. New York is so interesting because New York is ever changing in its style and in its genre, and being the birthplace of hip hop, it's like it's always going to continue to grow. Um, I don't even really want to say no specific names because I just feel like New York and its artists will always have a place, and they'll always have a platform. And trust me, I got a lineup of New York artists that I'll be looking out for, and a lineup of New Jersey artists for sure that I'll be looking out for. I'm trying to give a platform to who I really think are contributing to the message, but also just make beautiful, unique music. And I'm blessed and grateful and looking forward to the opportunity in which we all get to shine and take our place. You know, yeah, New York's on the move for a comeback for sure. It's gonna be on the map in a few years.
Bringing it to a close here. Take a moment, shout out your socials and any other big projects and plans you got coming up in the near future for people.
Yeah, for sure. It's Alexander Knight on Instagram at the Alexander Knight, on any of the socials at Alexander Knight or the Alexander Knight. YouTube, Spotify, Alexander Knight, Apple Music. Got Nightfall coming out 12/27/24, and look out for the Last Night debut project, debut mixtape. It's really gonna be diving into a lot of these concepts. So yeah, I
Absolutely.
look forward to the experience and the opportunity in the path. That's all I gotta say. And always search to serve something greater. Always search to serve something greater for real.
Put you in the lake, no ice challenge over hot flames. Summer let the school out. Smoke is in the sky from all the wars and all the bombs.